Another beautiful day, and we are very so excited to have everyone join us today. This is Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television from our corporate headquarters in Lagos State, Nigeria. I am Henry Igwebike, and I would love us that we start with what we have going on from our newspapers, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. Please do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can find us, reach us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am very so honored to have with me, joining me via Zoom from Lagos State, Nigeria, is Dr. Olayinka Oyegbile. He is a journalist, an educator, and a developmental communicator. Good morning to you, Doctor, and welcome to Enterprise Weekend today.
Good morning. It's nice to be back and to talk with you again. How are you doing?
I'm very well, sir. And how is Taiwan? It's been a while, really.
Yes, well, you know, once in a while, it's good to take a break from this humdrum called Nigeria to go and see other parts of the world and compare developments and things that the world.
Yes. So when you do your juxtaposition, yes, thank you so very much, Doctor. But when you do the juxtaposition there, what do you think is the difference? Of course, we know they have better infrastructure, they have better things. But what is that thing that you think that we have that they do not have?
That they don't have, I must confess.
Really?
Except leadership. That is the thing that we don't have. We don't have good leadership with foresight. In the 60s, Taiwan, China, or the Asian countries generally, they were nowhere where Nigeria, as far as Nigeria was concerned. But today, they've left us behind. Comparing Nigeria or Africa to Asia or Taiwan, let me be specific now, it's like comparing sleep to death. They are not the same thing. They are many years away, not light years. They are many, many, many years away from Nigeria. And it's very, very unfortunate. Taiwan today is the biggest producer of semiconductor and chips, which is one of the most important things in modern world of technology now. So they did this, they arrived at this not by magic, not by praying to God, not by spending hours in churches and mosques and praying and fasting, but by deliberate leadership. They have a system that works. For instance, the transport system is so perfect. And they started constructing their underground train in 1997. Just down the road here. How many years ago? 1990, not in 18. I mean, but here, it takes us ages and the entire treasury to build just 1 kilometer of a road, not underground road, surface road. But I mean, well, you see, sometimes when you don't even want to talk about this thing, because when you talk about it, you get so disenchanted, and sometimes you think maybe some people will think that you are bringing down your country. It is not so. I mean, we must wake up, and I believe some of the policies our government enact is to make sure that less people travel. Because when you travel, it is education. You see other countries, you see development, and you get back home. If you are the type that doesn't want to japa, you get back home and get angry and ask our leaders, what are you people doing? You travel to all these places, you see all this development. What is your problem? Why is it that you are not, we are where we are? I mean, a single man wants to steal the whole budget of a country or a state. and nothing happens to them. That's the problem. So it's a world away, I must confess to you.
Very true. It's a world
You asked me
away.
before. We got on air whether when we are going to get there.
Yes, exactly.
Well, maybe we are going to get there, but I must tell you, I'm not sure it's in my own or your own generation. I'm telling you, because the world has advanced so much that where do you begin to start? Where do you begin to take development? See, as little as the issue of phone is concerned, your mobile phone, you could forget your mobile phone in a train station, in a supermarket, in any public place or anywhere. Nobody will take it. The only way they will perhaps take it is, okay, if it is in a public place like in a train station, somebody will pick it up and go and give it to the station master. That this phone was forgotten in so place. The owner may come back and ask for it. Let me give you an example. I met a guy. He forgot his mobile phone in a supermarket. 2 days after, he was thinking of where did he go, where did he leave his phone. So he traced everywhere he went. So lastly, he went to a supermarket and went to the cashier that, I think 2 or 3 days ago, I came here, I forgot my phone. Did you see anything like that? The cashier asked her, what model is your phone? He said it's iPhone 15, I think. And they said, okay, where did you live? He said he's not sure, but he knows that he has gone to so many places that he went on the day he lost his phone. So this cashier brought out an iPhone from the under the cash point and showed it to her. Does your phone look like this? He said something like that. Okay, put it on. Put it on. There is a password. Oh yeah, put your password. He put his password, and lo and behold, the screensaver was the picture of the daughter. And said, this is my daughter. Immediately, he gave back the phone to her. Will that happen in Nigeria? People, midnight, people are on the road scrolling their phone, either on feet, on their or walking on the streets, or on motorbike or their car. Nobody snatch your phone. You dare not do that in Nigeria. So our problem is both leadership and followership. But I think it's more. It has more to do with leadership, because when a country is well governed and people have no challenges of what to eat and where to sleep, people will fall in line. You know, all this issue of banditry and all these things that we are talking about, why is it that it is difficult to pin down the people? They communicate by phone.
Yeah. So
what is the problem of you giving us the wahala that we should register our phone? We must have name, we must have, when you go to the bank now, they ask for your NIN, they will ask for your passport, they will ask for your what is the other one?
Your
the
BVN.
Bank, whatever.
Your BVN.
The BVN and so on. So how are money moving around that they don't know what is happening? The other day, the senior advisor to the president said the DSS spoke with the bandits, and that was why they released those children.
Very hilarious.
How did you speak with them? Face to face or by phone? Did you speak with them by phone or face to face? And every phone has a chip that you can locate where they are speaking from. So, okay, even if you spoke with them and they released the kids, so by now, you have not invaded their hideout. I mean,
it's actually It's actually very, very sad, doctor. When we look at some of these things, we talk about them. Sometimes, even as journalists, you want to go for a break, not going through your feeds on social media, because every single time you see something, it's doom and gloom, and you would wonder where all of this is coming from. And sadly, whilst all of this is happening, those representing us, the reps, the senators, they are singing on your mandate we shall stand, and not actually prioritizing issues of Nigeria. It's actually very sad, doctor. But this brings us to our newspapers today, which is from the Saturday Punch newspaper, where we have the big story. Kebbi school girls abduction. DHQ summons grills soldiers in Abuja. How military, of course, that's a writer to that story, how military opted for negotiation after failed rescue, which speaks to what you were talking about, doctor. Attacks won't stop our children from returning to school, and that's coming from victims and their parents. We equally have below that story, marked identity, how recycled SIM cards send innocent citizens to jail, and which is same thing you were talking about, doctor. You could imagine how recycled SIM cards send innocent citizens to jail, because those SIM cards must have been used to commit crime. And when you bought it as new from telecommunication companies, you wouldn't know that such SIM would have been used for crime. And of course, they won't do their investigation, and it lands you into trouble. But doctor, I want us to speak to the issue happening in Guinea-Bissau. And we have it from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, that the coup is more painful to him, he said, than losing to Buhari. I'd love us to speak to this issue, especially why he was trapped. Of course, he regained his freedom, I would say, by coming back home. But speak to us on Guinea-Bissau for a bit.
You see, as much as one is against seizure of power by the military, because those of us who are old enough to experience what life was like under military regime, we know what we are talking about. Fortunately enough, I traveled to Taiwan to do a postdoctoral research on martial law and military decrees in Nigeria.
Wow.
That is, they were also at one time under martial law, which was like a military decree. And what happened in Guinea-Bissau is very, very unfortunate. However, you ask yourself, did the ousted president behave democratically? Did he allow the election to be free and fair? Because if you ask former President Goodluck Jonathan there, he was there to observe.
Yeah.
He may not have seen everything, because I know election observers, they always give them a guided tour. They let you go to where they want you to see. But when you look at Africa generally, have we been really practicing that democracy? Some people are saying maybe the type of democracy bestowed on us by colonial leaders are not the kind of democracy we need. Maybe yes, maybe no. But the truth of the matter is that democratic leaders or elected leaders are not behaving very well. The same thing happened in Tanzania. The same thing in Cameroon. So you ask yourself, are we having a full-blown democracy or dictated or guided democracy? I'm not justifying what happened in the Guinea-Bissau, as I said, but when leaders don't allow election or people's will to triumph, this is the kind of thing that you have. There's a saying that those who make peaceful change impossible create way for a revolution. And that is what has happened. The ECOWAS and the AU leaders are only rubber settling with what they are saying. with all what they have said about Mali and Niger, what has happened? Those guys are still there. So the military, it was the West African sub-region that led the way in the 90s, the wave of democratic return to democracy. It is the same West African sub-region that is now being subjected to the rule of the guns. It is a wake-up call to African leaders that, look, you must do the will of the people. When there was a rumor that there was a planned coup in Nigeria, and that was why the president didn't do the planned parade on October 1. One of my favorite columnists in Nigeria, Adoni Adelakun of The Punch, she's a professor in the US, wrote a column on the back page of The Punch and says, who will defend this democracy or something like that. The questions he asked was, assuming there was even a coup in Nigeria, who are the people that will come out to defend the democracy that we have been talking about? I believe it will be very hard. As much as we don't want the military to rule, to come back, but who will boldly come out to say that the democracy we have is the ideal democracy we want? No democracy anywhere in the world is ideal, but we all struggle to make sure that democracy triumphs. Even the US that has practiced democracy for over 200 years or so, their democracy is not perfect. But at least people believe that when it comes to time to vote, when they vote, their vote will count. The guy in Guinea-Bissau dropped the ball. He gave the way for the military to come in.
Yeah.
He declared himself as the winner when the electoral body has not released the result, and the military saw that the country was going to go into tatters. So they stepped in. So I believe that elected leaders must also work for democracy to survive.
But, Doctor, sorry to interject there. Do you think the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would learn one or two lessons from Guinea-Bissau? Because it's almost the same thing. It's alleged that the president of Guinea-Bissau knew he was going to lose and allowed the military intentionally to come in and disrupt the process. What do you think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would learn from the story in Guinea-Bissau? Because as it seems today, practically, Doctor, we can see all the governors plugging to the center. Everyone is defecting to the ruling party, and the opposition is being handled like they wouldn't want it to exist. So what it looks like in Nigeria is a one-party system, which might likely, which we do not wish for, be like that of Guinea-Bissau or maybe even Cameroon. What do you think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should learn from Guinea-Bissau, if really he's intentional about learning anything?
Now, the lesson to be learned is not only for the president, but for all political leaders and even we, the electorate, is that when you don't allow people's will to prevail, when other things happen, the people whose will you have suppressed will pour into the streets to jubilate. Because if the president of Guinea-Bissau was popular, people will have poured into the street to say, no, we don't want you, we don't want you. But what happened? Everybody went home calmly. So our political leaders must learn, as I've said earlier on, to allow the will of the people to prevail. And the issue of becoming a one-party state and all that, I think what we are witnessing is the triumph of the belly. What do I mean? Everybody is scampering for safety, thinking of what to eat and not what to do for the people. One of the most surprising things for me in all this jumping from one party to the other is that of Bayelsa. At least that's the one I can remember easily. The Bayelsa state governor is not eligible for the governorship seat again unless he wants to go to the Senate. He's on his last term. So why dump your party to go to the ruling party? But you see, these politicians, they are always looking out for their own interest, not for the interest of the common people. And unfortunately, we the common people too, in some ways, hate them. Because on the day of election, those who are incorruptible, those who know their right from their left, will not go out to cast their ballot. They will sit down at home, watching television or listening to radio analysis, and then the lumping proletariat, as the masses will call them, will be the one to go out. They will give them 5,000. I understand the ante has been up now. They give them about 50,000 or something less to allow to convince them to vote for a particular candidate. Whatever money they give you, they will get in just one day when they get to power. And then your misery continues for the next 4 years as they preside. So it is left for us as the elite and people who know our right from our left to try and educate our people that they should not allow themselves to be swept away by immediate gains of giving them 20,000 or 10,000 or whatever thousand they give them to vote for people. Because the person that gives you 20,000 or whatever knows that he's going to get triple or 10 times what he gave you. You must vote your conscience. Why do you think every governor is going to the ruling party? It is not because of anything. It is for self-survival. It is not, it is in the Southeast today. It is only OT and Soludo that are not in APC, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the others are in APC. Why? For their own self-survival. And we all know what went on. We all know what went on in Anambra State.
Yeah.
Soludo had before the election gone to Aso Rock to pledge his allegiance. He even wore the Tinubu cap to show his allegiance and say that if I get the governorship, no problem. And we all know that APC doesn't have a ground in that state. So, I mean, all those defecting to the ruling party are not doing so for the benefits of the people, but for their own selfish end. Saying that they want to take their states to the center. Which center? What do you gain by doing that? And also, you will see, by the time the election is done, we'll get to know whether these people are really representing their people. But as I said earlier on, it's also a bit dicey, because the governors know that the governors now are the tail that is wagging the dog. Instead of the dog wagging the tail, it is the tail that is wagging the dog. The governors dictate what happened, rather than the other way around. The electorate should be the one to punish the the candidate that we didn't ask you to defect to this party, so we are not going to vote for you.
Yeah.
But will that happen? No. That's the unfortunate situation we find ourselves.
Very so unfortunate, Doctor. Our leaders truly do not care. They feel politics is just about them, their family members and their cronies, and not even the people that they serve. I do not know if all of them truly understand the definition of leadership. Leadership, you are supposed to serve people, not the people serving you. But in Nigeria, it is the opposite. And Doctor, I'm talking about those who contribute to some of these big issues that we have. Cardoso, Nigeria attracts a $20.98 billion foreign capital inflow in 10 months. Doctor, we live in Nigeria, and if this humongous amount of money comes to Nigeria, at least those at the lowest ebb would feel it. I would feel it. I would report it. The market woman on the side of the road will say, yes, as a result of this huge amount of money, things are better for me and my family. But that is not the reality. So do you think people like Cardoso and many other minions of this administration are equally complicit to all of the decay we have currently in Nigeria and beyond?
Can you please come again? How much did you say came in?
He said about $20.98 billion came in 10 months.
$billion.
Yes.
This is a farcical. Look, if it's talking about $20.98 billion, even if it is naira, that is a huge chunk of money.
Yeah.
You know how much that is in naira terms?
Trillions.
So where did this money sink into?
Exactly.
Where did this money sink into? Is it saying that if this quantum of money didn't come into Nigeria in the 10 months, Nigeria will have collapsed? Look, as I always say, I'm not a mathematician or somebody who knows so much about statistics and so on. But when people throw around figures like this, the first question I ask myself is, has that reduced the price of fish? Has that reduced the price of a bag of rice? Has it led to the fall in the price of amala, elubo, and other things? So people can sit in the comfort of their offices and homes and be throwing about figures. Cardoso, to me, he looks smart, clean, and all that, but running an economy goes beyond just throwing about figures. People want to know how that affects their life. The 4 months I spent in Taiwan, I saw a lot of things. And I asked myself, all these people moving around, doing small business with ease, they are contributing so much to the country's economy. We have the same here. But the way, the way we handle things here makes life so difficult for the ordinary people to transport pepper from the farm to the market is wahala. From the market you buy it to bring it to your home is another leg of wahala. So you now ask yourself, all these billion they are calling, where does it go? There is nothing in Nigeria that should be called decent public transportation. There's zero. All the vehicles you see on the road are dilapidated. Not even dead animals will be conveyed in such vehicles in a civilized world. You can't see that on the road. They are complete eyesore. So where is the money going to? Public transport is zero. Everything we have is zero. So the Cardoso says 20-something billion came into the Nigerian economy. So where is it? Where did it go to? What infrastructure did those things build? How many employment did that money provide? They said foreign direct investment. Who are the people that are employed there? Look, for instance now, I have not gone to around Dangote refinery, but even from standing afar off, or from people who have gone there, you know the kind of ricochet effects that refinery has had in that axis. So many people have been provided with employment, either as food vendors who sell food for laborers on the refinery, and so on and so forth. So these are things, the informal sector of the economy is what makes the economy to boom. But in a situation where you just sit down in an air-conditioned office and you throw about figures, billions of these have come in, how many employments, how many mouths have been fed with those billions? Is it the billion that go into the pocket of some private individual, a man that will want to take the whole Commonwealth into his own pocket for his own family, the money that even his family in generations to come will not finish spending? So they should just save us all those figures they throw about and tell us how they have affected the life of the common man. That is better than telling us how many billions have come in and so on and so forth. You know?
It's actually very sad, Doctor, that despite all of these figures, lots of Nigerians still cannot pay school fees for their children. House rent is above the roof right now. Lots of people are going back to their villages and commuting from there because they can't afford house rent. You know, so many things are going bad in Nigeria, and we all hide behind our fingers and and say things.
You see, so everything is wrong with our system. Everything. Because now we always talk from experience. In Taiwan, the public transport system is so effective. They have a card, just like your ATM card. Every month, when you get your salary, you can buy your pass for the whole month. And what does this mean? What it means is that when you buy it for a whole month pass, you can go anywhere in the city at any point in time. That thing will never finish. It's a flat rate. So there will be no excuse for you to say that you can't come to work because you have no transport fare. You have people who live. For instance, I live in Ota. If I walk in Lekki, from Ota to Lekki, it won't cost me anything extra on a monthly basis if I buy the 1 week pass. All you need to do is to get to the train station or the bus station on time, calculate how many hours or minutes it will take you to get there. The train is always faster because it's underground. There's no traffic jam, no nothing. It moves fast. So you use that, people can go home and come anywhere you live. People can even live in Ibadan and come to work in Lagos. After work, they enter the train or the bus and go back to Ibadan. Or in a situation where somebody is living, even in a, we have with 70,000 now as your minimum wage, you cannot work in Ikeja and live in Sango or in Ota and be going to work every day. It's impossible.
Even in Ogba,
So that is
doctor.
why you find out that many people,
yeah,
yes,
as close as Ogba to
you find
Ikeja.
out that many people, yes, that's why you find out that many people either sleep in their offices, if the office will allow, or even in the money that is not there, some people put resources together to even pay for one room. You know how much you will pay. You pay the rent, you pay agreement, you pay this. By the time you pay all that, the money is gone. So people are not giving living wages, but debt wages, if you allow that, they mean to use that word. Because the money you are getting in the 80s, ASU says their take-home pay cannot take them home. The take-home pay of average Nigerian cannot take him anywhere today. So what do? We have a situation where with the current wage that people are being paid now, how many people earning 70,000 can conveniently send their children to any federal university, not to talk of state or private university? I mean, so the way the country is going, sometimes I get afraid. Because one day, as they say, something will give way. And I pray that it doesn't consume us all.
Amen. Doctor, we sincerely pray that it does not, consume us all, because it's very glaring, right now. So many complicated issues around Nigeria, and one would wonder why this is so very avoidable, but that is the problem we have. So doctor will still be around when we return. No ransom paid for release of abducted school girls. Federal government clears the air. That in the beat is still Enterprise Weekend. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you so very much for being here, and it's glad having you join us yet again. This is Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our main conversation for today. The Senate spokesperson, Yemi Adaramodu, has denied claims that the federal government paid ransom to secure the release of school children recently abducted in Kebbi and Niger states. Speaking in an interview, he stressed that no financial settlement was made to the kidnappers, and also that despite earlier confirmation by presidential aide Bayo Ononuga that security operatives contacted bandits during the rescue of victims in Kwara. And he explained that communication with abductors can take different forms: forcefully, persuasive, or a mixture, while emphasizing that security agencies are not required to publicly disclose their operational tactics. His remark come amid renewed nationwide concern over rising school abduction and the lack of transparency surrounding rescue operations. We still have Doctor. Thank you so very much, Dr. Olanka, for being here. We truly do appreciate you hanging on. All right. So, Doctor, can you hear us? All right, so while we get Doctor... Yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Sometimes...
Yes, Doctor, I wanted to ask you. Yes, I can hear you. My question actually is... Yes, you are an expert in communication. Doctor, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doctor? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you very well, but
Yes,
can you
I can
hear me?
you.
Okay, beautiful. So my question, Doctor, is
Yes,
concerning the federal government saying that they didn't pay no financial whatever to get the abducted schoolgirls out, but rather they engaged in persuasion and some sort of communication form and fashion. You are a communication expert yourself, Doctor. Help us clear the air. In cases like this, especially with terrorism and banditry, is it possible that we can adopt a measure of communication to get bandits to do what we want without necessarily giving them what they want? Is it ever possible in communication?
Well, our senior colleague, Mr. Bayo Nanuga, and the senator, what they have been saying, because look, it is even better for you to come out and tell us that the tactics decrease because you are still studying the situation than for you to come out and tell us, that no ransom was paid. Now, you said the DSS spoke with the bandits. Did they speak with them face to face? Did they speak to them through an intermediary? Did they speak with them by phone or how? Or by telepathy? If any of these means of communication was used, then there must have been a contact. Yeah. When you already contacted them at any telecommunication communication that takes place, they can easily pick where the communication took place. Are you listening to me?
Very well, Doctor.
So they can easily pinpoint where they are. And after the children have been released, they can swoop on the place, on the surrounding places, and get these people. But for you to say that you didn't pay any ransom, nobody was killed, nobody was injured, and they just released the children to you. Oh boy. Yeah, that stays by moonlight. You can tell that to the Marines. Because as far as I'm concerned, something must have changed. Huge sum of money must have changed. Or are these people now saying that, okay, we have repented, we will not do it again, give us money so that we can be farmers or traders, and then you let them go? Both Mr. Onanuga and Senator Adaramodu, they are not telling us the truth, and they are not helping the issue. Okay, if you didn't pay ransom, and the children were released, so they released to you one batch, they took another batch in another place, then you begin to negotiate again, they release those. I'm these people. I've said this several times in most discussions I've had with people who was there. The belief was that it was handling the bandits with kid gloves because they are majorly Fulani or in the last 2 years that President Tinubu has been there. He's a Yoruba man. He's not married to a Fulani. He's not known to have any connection or family or except political family and friends with these people. What has he done that is different from what Buhari has done? I can't see it. Or maybe, I don't know. So the issue is our politicians, just as we spoke about those who are defecting to APC, are only looking at voters. They are not looking at people. They are looking at their own interest. What will work in their own interest and not in the interest of the common man. Because if they are looking at what will work in the interest of the common man, what stops the military or the commander-in-chief to give an order that we must root out these people? When Buhari was there, we were crying that Obama didn't sell Tucano jet to us because he doesn't like us to get rid of the bandits and all that. I think Trump came in his first term and sold the Tucano jets. Where are the Tucano jets now? They are parked in there. Now that they are not allowed to buy a weapon, even when you buy the weapon, do you use them against these people? And this brings us to the issue of whether Trump wants to invade Nigeria or not. Yes, Trump is an irrational man, but what Trump is saying is not that he wants to come and change the government. They want to do the exact thing they did to Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad in Pakistan. Go to his hideout, bring him out, they brought him out, killed him, and carried his dead body away. So, what do we have to hide? The inefficiency of government? Because when you look at it clearly, it's like some political leaders, either in the north or wherever, have some interest to protect with these bandits. I also heard that some people, even in the military or in the police, also don't want this banditry to end, because it makes it easy for them to ask for extra budgets, which they turn into their own pockets. So if these people have the love of the citizen in their hearts, this banditry will have ended. Why is it so difficult to destroy bandits? People come into the city or villages, either on bikes or whatever. They took 315 children away. That's like a plane load of no mass transit bus, not one mass transit bus will take 315 people at a time.
Yeah.
So how did they take them away? On foot? On motorbikes? Or they brought so many cars and nobody saw them leaving? Come on. Let's be serious. We are not ready to face this issue. That is the actual fact. The government is not telling us the truth. And those who are around the president, most of them are there for what they can get. I'm not sure there's any one of them that is ready to tell Mr. President clearly, either as service chiefs, special advisor, or whatever. Why is it that in Nigeria, everybody will refer to president as Baba, Baba, Baba? In Africa, Baba is unquestionable. Your father gives you an order, you carry it out, especially during our own generation, not the children of nowadays. But when everybody sees the Mr. President as Mr. Perfect, Baba, 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 father of the nation, mother of the nation, How will they ask him or tell him that, sir, can we do it this way? Can we do it the other way? When the president says this is the way to do it, everybody say, okay, yes, sir, whether it is right or wrong. So why are you an advisor? Why are you a specialist? I mean, if a doctor tells the president, Mr. President, you should use this medication by 10 a.m., would the president tell him that, why should you order me to use it by 10 a.m.? I will use it by 10 p.m. He won't. He will do what the doctor says. But when it comes to other things, everybody bows down to the president and say that Mr. President or Mr. Governor or Mr. Legislator is right. No. We must do things properly. We are not facing...
Yes,
the military is trying.
Doctor,
don't let us.
Yes, I wanted. Sorry for interjecting. I just wanted to ask this: does President Bola Ahmed Tinubu need to be advised that this is the right thing to do? He is a father, a grandfather, and sometimes great-grandfather, and he understands the value of life. He wouldn't want any of the things happening to those schoolgirls to happen to his child or his grandchild or his great-grandchild. So does he need an advisor to tell him that this is the right thing to do? Remember, prior to the election, he said, when he was asked about insecurity, he said he was going to allow for enlisting of 50 million youths. And when he was asked what they will eat, he said corn and maize and so many other things. We laughed at those issues. Do you think the president is not prepared to be the president and just allowed himself just to check that box to say he once ruled Nigeria? What do you think is the issue here?
You see, there are so many things that are interplaying in what is happening now. Maybe Mr. President misjudged what is going on at the center, because there's a street saying that if you ever lived in Lagos, you can survive anywhere. So when you juxtapose that with the power, you say if you ever ruled Lagos successfully, you can rule Nigeria successfully. But these are different ball games entirely. And I also think you know, when you are outside the seat of power, it's like being on the spectator side in a football match. And then
you see everything.
You be dictating to the player. Oh, you should have played it this way. You should have played it that way. But when you get to the pitch yourself, the ball is in another. I mean, the shoe is on another leg now. So the wisdom that you displayed outside the pitch, you can't display it on the pitch. But be that as it may, I think the president has not acted very fast enough. And just the example you gave, will he want it to happen to his child or his children or his grandchildren and all that? I think all these things are not being taken seriously because it has not happened close to home. You know, when you hear that, 200 people who were kidnapped in Kogi State, is just statistics to you. In that 200, if your brother, your son, or your sister, or a relation of yours is one, it's no longer statistics to you.
Yeah.
Because it has gotten home to you. So, most of these people, I think that is what it is to them. It is just statistics. If you watched, I think the House of Rep debate the other day about insecurity, one of the members was kicking against the order that they should withdraw policemen from the VIPs. And he was asking whether they are part of the VIP the president was talking about. And what did he say? He said, we are now under threat of being kidnapped. So they should not withdraw the policemen from us as a member of House of Rep. So you see where we are going. You see what we are talking about.
Yeah.
They are now saying that they are also targets. So they don't want those policemen to be withdrawn from them. When it gets close, it's no longer statistics. But now, what they hear, they've kidnapped 200 children in Kebbi, they've kidnapped 50 in Kwara, they've killed so in this and that. Until it happens close to them or it happens to them, they will not understand what it means. Many of them travel now with armed guards when they want to go to their constituency. Before today, before now, do they need all that? Anywhere you go now, you easily know when a big man or a legislator or a government official is there because you see policemen or guards around the house. In those days, we live close door to members of House of Assembly in those days. We see them every day. They are just like everyday people like each and every one of us. But now, even a local government chairman or councillor, he moves away from the wards that elected him. A House of Assembly member in Lagos representing Agege lives in Banana Island. How can he represent them very well? The one in Ajangbadi lives in Banana Island or lives in Lekki and all that. So until they see this security threat as a threat to each and every one of us, how many of them do their children go to public school nowadays? Not even public university. Those that are in Nigeria will either go to private universities or go to universities abroad. And they are so shameless. When these kids graduate, they will stand with them abroad, take picture, and put it on social media. I mean, how many of other presidents of the world send their children abroad to go and school? Or even they themselves going abroad for medical checkup? We are shameless people.
It's actually very sad, Doctor, that all of this are happening. You know, before the show, we were talking about, you know, why our leaders behave the way they behave, you know. Yes,
it's
yes,
depressing.
Doctor. Yeah, it's actually very depressing. You know, we're asking ourselves, you know, why our leaders who have traveled far and wide, and they understand some of these things better than us. They have dual placements in different parts of the world, you know, but you see them still behave like like they are one of us, but they are truly not one of us, and all. But way forward, Doctor, how do you think, do you ever think we would ever get to that point in Nigeria where someone would love to travel because it is his passion to travel? As he goes from one state to another, he enters one village or another to see how the people live and all that. Do you think we would ever get to that place in Nigeria again where rather than taking flight, you would love to take the road because you enjoy traveling, but because of fear for kidnapping and abduction, you wouldn't do that? We would ever get to that point again, Doctor?
You know, the interesting thing about it is that man is built on hope. Hope for the best, to keep yourself alive. Yeah. I still believe things can turn around if only our leaders are ready to do the needful. Look, it doesn't take long to change mannerism. What it takes, because I remember in the 80s to 90s, when I was just a junior reporter, journalist in the newsroom, you will have an invitation to come to Abuja. Those inviting you will either send you the flight tickets and send you the money, or they tell you that you should fly. When you come, they will give you they will reimburse you. But what do? We go to Kennedy Lichuku. At that time, there was no all these small buses. You go to Kennedy Lichuku, and all these luxury buses. Lagos at night, Abuja in the morning. That's what we call it. The bus will leave Lagos maybe by 10, 11 p.m. By 5, 6 a.m., you are in Abuja. You enter their bus station, you go and shower there, and change your clothing, and move to the venue of your assignment. The assignment from maybe 10 o'clock that morning till about 1. When it is done, you move around Abuja city for some time. When it is getting to 3, 4, 5, you head to the bus station to go and pay for your seat for a return in the night again. By next morning, you are back in Lagos. Who does that now? You either won't go, and how expensive the flight ticket is now, you squeeze yourself and fly. We have taken away fun from traveling. The best way to learn, the best way to understand your country is to travel by road. Do you know the number of jobs, informal jobs, that have been killed by this banditry? Because in those days, when you travel by road, whether you are driving yourself or you go by commercial bus, you tell the driver, when we get to so place, please, I want to buy yam. The bus driver will stop.
Yeah.
You are provided food for those who are selling yam by the roadside, because you buy yam from them. The economy is moving forward. You carry the yam. But nowadays, even when people travel by road, most of those roadside farm and other things they sell by the roadside have disappeared. Where they have not disappeared, very few vehicles will stop, because they will invade them and carry you into the bush. So, and besides that, the roads are terrible. We are building coastal roads. We have not repaired the road to what should be the focus? The focus should have, okay, now, from Shagamu to Ore to the southeast to the south-south, should have been faced before we start building a new road. Because it is when you have a road that is good that you can think of a new one. You have not maintained an old road, you are building a new one. Where will people pass before the new one is ready? But our priorities are always wrong. The other day I posted on social media the new airport, or to buy aircraft, to say that the state is running an aircraft, an airline. What is this attraction with building airport and running airline in a state where the internal roads to move from one end to the other is non-existent. In my neck of wood where I live, the bridge that connects us with Lagos has sunk for almost 8 months now.
Wow.
Nothing has been done about it. Yes, the governors will say they are building airports. They are building cargo. If it is not cargo airport, if they want to deceive you, they will tell you it is cargo airport. What cargo do you want to ferry from bad road to the airport, or from the airport to where you want to distribute it? When trailers, when buses fall every day on the road you fail to construct, how will they get to the airport? But it is the new cash cow for them. Because when they tell you they spend 21 billion, 100 billion to build an airport, how do you value it? They'll tell you, Naira has fallen, the exchange rate is this, and that. So, as we always say, Nigeria major in minor. Things that are important, they won't face it. It is the things that that will benefit them, or some few people that they will put their attention upon. That's the problem we are having in this country.
And unfortunately, Doctor, when brilliant speakers like you and many speak to some of these issues, yes, when brilliant speakers and thinkers like you and many, speak truth to some of these things, we have a plethora of people we now know as data boys that are paid monthly to say the opposite and speak for the government. How do you think in a social media scene, how do you think people would at least discern good voices from the bad voices and make decisions that would help in the future?
Henry, as an individual, when I'm convinced I've taken a decision that is right, I don't give a damn about social media worms, as Professor Shoyinka described them, all social media militants and bandits who will be abusing you. Because at the end of the day, the money they give them to buy data, which they think is something, they still come back to the reality that you are telling them. So it's a case of let them continue to do what they are doing. We, as a voice of reason, will continue to do what we are doing. Sometimes when media houses, either TV or radio, call on me to come and speak to issues, I sometimes feel frustrated and say that it's just a waste of time. Why should I waste my data, waste my time talking about the same issue every day, now and then? But on the other hand, I also look at it and say, well, if that is the only opportunity for me to contribute to the growth and development of my nation, I should not get tired. Because most times you ask yourself, do these people really watch or do they really listen to what we say? Because it's the same issue we are going to be talking about every time. Know this, know that, know this, know that. What we spoke about 8 years ago under Muhammadu Buhari are the same thing we are still battling with today. They have not changed. We have not made progress. Other countries are making progress. Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, Philippines, Mexico, and all those things, they are making progress, no matter how small. But we are not making progress. We are not static. Rather than move forward, even if it is an inch, we are regressing by feet. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. We are regressing. So that people we have left behind are meeting us up and even passing us by. Why? Our country is not short of talented people. Why is it that people who are boxed into a corner in Nigeria, immediately they leave, they begin to shine abroad? It is because we have boxed them. Yes, we talk about, and we most times complain our education is bad, But we see Nigerians leave this bad education system, they go abroad, and they shine. Because they have been so repressed, and where they get to a place where everything works, they blossom. Our leaders see all this. When presidents travel, when governors travel, they meet their Nigerians abroad, they talk to them, they come back home, do this, do that. Those of them who want to come back home, is it the same exposure to banditry and so on that they want to come back home to? No. Nobody wants to live in a place where his mind is not at rest. Even if you are earning a little dollar and you know your mind is at rest, you prefer it than coming home where your mind is not at rest. So we must change this country. And the way to change it is to always tell them the truth. When they are in power, they say a different thing. When they get out of power, they get wiser and begin to talk. What they didn't do when they were in power, they will be talking about it. But you had the opportunity to change Nigeria, you never changed it. Now, before today, the president was always talking about true federalism. In the last 2 to 3 years that he has been there, what has he done that demonstrates that he wants to really practice that true federalism? Yes, you might say that the states are getting more money. Is that true? The true federalism we have been talking about? The states are getting more money and the citizens are getting poorer and worse. Is that the kind of federalism we want? You say we should talk to our governors and all this and all that. What has changed? Nothing. The governors are getting more money, the citizens are getting poorer and suffering more. So those of them who are close to them now say that he wants the true federalism issue will come during his second term. So, in the second term, why didn't he do it during the first term? And if he doesn't win again, at least Nigerians will thank him that at least this is what he did. So all these things, they are just for their own benefit, not for the benefit of you and I.
Very well, Doctor. So true. We can't overstate, some of these things. They are very glaring. It's unfortunate that every other time we keep talking about these things and nothing seems to change. But we hope for better days. And like you did say, human beings are made of hope, just to keep alive and keep going. And hopefully, things will change. Thank you so very much, Doctor, for being here. We truly do appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Thank you so very much, Doctor. And I
despite all the ozus and wahala, home is home.
Home is home. Home is home, Doctor. Thank you so very much, and we hope to see you more often and especially now that Nigerians need the opportunity of speaking truth to power. We need people like you to do all of that. And that was Dr. Olayinka Oyegbile, a journalist, an educator, and also a development communicator. And that's just about the time we have for today. We'd love to say thank you for making this a date. Please do well to follow us. You can find us when you reach us at enterprisetvnews.com to read up on everything that we had talking about today, and you equally can, rewatch what we have talked about when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a wonderful and splendid weekend. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye.